My marriage has been in trouble for the past year. But instead of trying to really face it and try to fix things, I just try to sweep things under the rug. I'm a people pleaser and often do things just to make people happy, even if I'm miserable. I've done the same when it comes to our sex life. We hardly have sex anymore. I just don't want to. I'm tired of putting on an act like I even want to have sex. The only reason I have, in the past, is that I know how important it is to my husband, and I don't want him to think it's something he's done wrong. It's my problem, a problem I've had for a long time. My inability to experience pleasure isn't his fault, and I've never let on that it is a real problem. His business, which I helped him start, has really taken off, and it's all he talks about now. It's also required a lot of my time, and I've become resentful of that. I've tried to set boundaries about what I will do and won't do, but I've consistently ignored the boundaries and given in to what he needs from me, just so I don't rock the boat. I'm so tired of my needs being ignored, but I also realize that it's all my fault for not standing up for what I need and sticking to my guns about things. The business has taken over our lives and our bank accounts and our marriage. I am so proud of what my husband has accomplished, but I don't want to be involved anymore. He feels that if we can't work together, that we probably can't make a relationship work. I begged him to go to therapy with me, but he has flatly refused. I felt so helpless and alone, and I feel like he hasn't taken my concerns to heart. That's no excuse for what I did, but it just explains where my head has been at. I was at a friend's house working on an art project when one of her friends walked in the door, and immediately I felt like I knew this woman and that I wanted to know this woman all at the same time. I was not thinking of her in a sexual way. I just felt so drawn to her and wanted to be friends. Fast forward a few weeks, and we were at another function together, and we made plans to go out to an art festival with another woman. It was lovely, and she was very complimentary towards me, but it was all very platonic. The next day, I felt compelled to call her and ask her to dinner after she got back from a trip she was taking. I figured that we could get together when she got back, several weeks from that point, but she instead suggested meeting up that next night. The evening was great, and as the drinks flowed, the conversation veered off into talking about how a lot of her ex were straight girls, and I mentioned that I wasn't exactly straight. We went to leave the bar, and as I was driving her back to her place just down the street, we came to two girls laying partially in the street, clearly drugged out of their minds. We stopped and offered them help, at which time she touched my shoulder and asked if I was comfortable driving them home, and did I feel safe. When she touched me, there were bells and whistles, and I was like an electric current shot through my body. We got the girls' homes, and then we went back to her place and had a drink and chatted. No funny business. When I went to leave, it was awkward, and we went in for a hug, but then it was turned into a kiss. I knew I had to leave or it would go further. I saw her a few other times with other people, and there was a definite electricity in the air, and I was on a path that I felt like I wanted to be on, even though I knew that I was on the road to betraying my husband. Somehow in my mind, since it was with a woman, I felt like it was different. I know now that that is absolutely not the case, and I was fooling myself to justify what it is I wanted to do. We ended up getting together a few nights down the road, and had the most amazing sex I've ever had. I felt like I finally understood why so many people I've known have let sex rule their decisions, and I felt like I understood what the big deal was. If it were just sex, I could end it, and just be happy for that glimpse of pleasure that I had, and move on so as not to hurt my husband. But it's an emotional affair at this point. I feel like I can be more honest with her, and that she actually listens to me. But I also know that it's not a fair comparison, because everyone is attentive in the beginnings of relationships. It's the honeymoon period. I was once in love with my husband, and he was also attentive and romantic once. So I realize that I'm not being fair. I'm torn because my husband deserves better than me. He deserves someone that will be faithful and desire him. I love him, even though I've betrayed him. And I love the new woman in my life as well. I'm lost and helpless, and I'm so ashamed of what I've done, but at the same time, I've never felt this passionate about another person, ever. I've always been known as a goody two-shoes, who was always a rule follower, and I just wonder what has happened to me. I hate what I've done to my husband and have no idea where to go from here.